Hello, my name is Basant. In this video, I am going to show about my 8th semester internship report. I have done my internship in LV Prasad Eye Institute, which is located in Hyderabad. I would like to share my work in this. It's always a great opportunity to do work in the field which I know. The field which I am working on is image processing. I had my course in third year, second semester, which was taught by a good professor. So I have some good knowledge in image processing. So the main thing the LV Prasad Institute is looking on is to crop the image to their required data. And once I go into detail, you'll get to know about the things which I'm working on. So it's a capstone project. So when it comes to my internship organization details, my mentor name is Divyan, and these are the details. And he is working as an R&D engineer there. So I was also taken to the team. There are some 2 to 3 teams which they are working on. So let's go into some detailed terminologies. So as we know, there are 2 eyes in a human being. So eye contains iris in it, and the dark opening which is inside the iris, that's known as pupil. When light is exposed to pupil, then it always tries to contrast, and when we go into a dark region, then the pupil always expands as much as possible in order to capture the light around the surroundings. So let's get into another thing which is known as RAPD. This is the major thing which we are working on. So RAPD is relative afferent pupillary defect. So RAPD is a defect which is seen more in human beings now. If a particular human being neglects RAPD, it leads to optic nerve disorder, which in turn causes him blind. So we have to calculate the diameter of the pupil, amplitude and latency here in order to tell whether the person is suffering from RAPD or not. So let's get into detail. You'll get to know everything. So this is a device which the organization is working on. It is not brought into market till now. They are working on the accuracies and also the data sets in which they want to train the device, and they are working on, even there are some 2 to 3 people which they are working on. So this is the problem statement. So if you want to have a detailed explanation, I'll go to the next slide. So nowadays, if you are going to a hospital, it's general that people when they are suffering from any eye disease or something, the doctors always uses a light. They'll instant the light on one eye, they'll close the other eye, they'll mark the readings, and they'll do the same thing with the other eye. So every time the doctors does this process, there may be errors in this. So in order to take all these errors away, the organization LV Prasad Institute is designing a device which is this is known as Pupil Plus. So the problem statement here is, as I discussed there, they have to keep all the data sets available, and they have to train in some CNN model or something. I am not working in that field. I am only working on the data set thing, which I have to crop all the images and I have to present them. So this is all the information I have already discussed. So here the main thing which they are going to do is swinging flashlight, which is this. So swinging flashlight is the thing which I have explained, like the doctor closes one eye and incident eye on other eye, the same process for both the eyes. That's known as swinging flashlight. So when we use this device, the device automatically does this. So like let's go to the algorithm which I have used to crop the images. We have used 2 to 3 paths actually to do the image and crop the image to their required size, but finally we have used this image frame. So this is a proper method which we are working on, which is more accurate. Even the organization also accepted with this method. So first we'll go to the detailed picture, the stepwise process. So let us assume that an eye image is given in this way. The region here, the black region, is known as pupil. This big eyeball circle is known as iris. So our role is to detect the diameter of the pupil. So we want to gauge the eye movements and detect the diameter of the pupil. So once they are given a data set containing an image of whole face, we need to crop that image to the required part, that is this. These are the dimensions, 260 and 795 are the dimensions. One is the length and other is the breadth. So if any operation if we want to perform, we have to have that in grayscale, otherwise we cannot perform operations. Once we are done with all the operations, we can convert the image again to color image. So these are the two steps, like I have shown here. First step is to read the frames, and the second step is to change the color of the image from color image to the grayscale image. Grayscale image is in the sense there will be only two frames here, two pixel values here. One is the black and other one is the white. So BGR in the sense blue, green, red. BGR indicates the color image and the grayscale image indicates the black and white image. So let's go to the next step, where we have used the Gaussian filter. As I mentioned earlier, I only need to access only the pupil region which I want to calculate the diameter of. So I have used the Gaussian filter and I have reduced all the noises. So let's get into the algorithm once. So if we go through the fourth step, this step is that there are two pixel values. I am changing all the image to only two pixel values. One is 3 and other is 255. We can depending on the different image data set, we can change that into two pixel values. So one will be from 250 to 255. That depends on the image clarity and all. We can change that. So generally most of the images I have considered 3 and 255. 255 is the white thing and 3 is the dark thing. Once we perform this, we will have the output shown in the third step. This will be the output. So after this, our main task is to denote the counters. Counters in the sense the outline around the pupil. So if we have the proper outline around the pupil, that will be easy for us to calculate the diameter. We should also mark the thickness of the line around the pupil and also the diameter of the pupil. So once we get this, we'll directly get the diameter. So see, after converting this, 3 and 255 are the threshold values which I am keeping to change all the image into two pixel values only. That is 3 indicates the black, 255 indicates the white. So after that, to further reduce all the noises around, we are using Gaussian filter. Gaussian filter is used to generally the Gaussian filter is used to reduce the noise. Here I am using 7x7 matrix, where the middle element will be a pixel value of 0. That's 0 indicates the black. We only require the center part, that's the pupil. Then after that, we'll if you want to mark the counters, I have used chain approx symbol. That's the simple code which you have to use there. We have done all this in Visual Studio Code. So after this, we need to mark the as we mark all the counters, we have to print all the counters, which gives the circle around the pupil. We can also mark the size as 3 to 5 mm, like the size in the sense the thickness of the line which comes around the pupil. So this is all the process where we are following all the functions here. I already explained all these functions, and after every step I have shown the output. That's the threshold value. After that, we are printing the counters. Here 0, 0, 255 indicates BGR. So B0 G0 R is 255. So that's the reason where we get red circle here. If we give 255.00, we'll get blue circle there. That's the only difference. So recently, after they have given me a huge amount of data set. After performing all the functions, I have given all the cropped images to them. After that, they have used an algorithm. They have trained all the images. Using all the images, they have trained and also tested. Once they have used this on a 24-year-old person, like they have used this device to detect the diameter in case if the person is suffering with RAPD or not. So the result, this is the result PDF which is given to me by them in order to present. So let's get into this. Here we can see a resting diameter as 3.69, resting diameter dark, that as 3.69, resting diameter dark for the right eye as 4.07, that's nearly equal. And when it comes to resting diameter light, both the eyes have same diameter. So we can conclude saying that the person to whom this experiment is conducted is not suffering with RAPD. In order to get more accurate result, we need to have amplitude and latency also. So that's it. And in order to have further progress in the institution, they were asked to perform me a task where I need to have all the information. Like I have to take an application. I have to perform certain task in that. So I said I am well aware of AWS. So they have asked me to conduct an experiment. Like I have to send emails to the people, to all the organization people. So there are other platforms such as Mailgun, where people have to pay in order to get access. They'll always track all the details and all. So we can also do this in Amazon SCS or Amazon Pinpoint service in order to send bulk number of emails. We have AWS CLI and AWS SCS in this in order to perform sending multiple emails by creating a virtual platform. So I also have a course in third year second semester that's on AWS console and AWS CLI etc. I am well aware of this, so I asked them that I will perform a task in this by sending emails. So initially I worked on AWS SCS and AWS Pinpoint. So after that I decided to work on SCS, as SCS service is only for sending emails. Pinpoint is mainly for sending the notifications. So generally we'll have as a student we'll have only educator account, so we can perform many things, but we'll be in the sandbox state. That's what I had gone through. So in order to perform that, all the steps should be followed in same order. First will be, we have to take a template. We have to consider all the body part, this template which is shown here. I have taken this in JSON file. Initially, to work on CLI, one needs to install CLI version 2, and after installing we can use AWS configure, in order to configure our details on console. So we can also use JSON as our default format. So after creating this template, we can use a single email service. Like first we need to verify all the details, like to whom we have to send the email. Only the verified email IDs, only for the verified email IDs we can send the information. For unverified person we can't send the information, as the educator account will always be in sandbox. So this, after performing AWS configure, I didn't mention that here. After performing AWS configure and selecting the template, we have to use this command in command prompt. So that's AWS SES create template and input JSON, and the file name here should be the JSON file which you have stored here. We have to give the path here. So after this we have to create one more JSON file containing this, and the source will be our email address from where we are sending. To address will be the client email address, and here the information will be the body of the message. So after that we can use this command and give the location of the file. So from this we can say that we can send only information like the message, the email, to only one client. There is also other thing where we can send a bulk number of emails. That's using this AWS SES this command. Like the same way we have stored this, we can use this same thing and use this copy this and paste this multiple times, and we can change the to address. After performing that and saving again the file and giving the file location here, once we perform the operation, multiple number of emails can be sent at a time. And note that all the steps which I have given, that is like first we have to configure, next we have to verify, and after that we have to give this command by saving this file, and after that we have to use this command, and after that we have to use this command. Once all these steps are done, only we can have the multiple emails processed. Otherwise there will be an error if the process is jumbled. So that's all about my internship. So it's always great having my internship outside. That's it. Thank you.